Question. Do you think that you can change the world? If so, what would it take? Would you need to take up office and slowly work your way up the bureaucratic ladder year by year, scandal by scandal, before you can make a difference? Nope. All it would take is a snap of your fingers. So, go ahead, snap your fingers. You didn't actually do it, did you? Of course you didn't. Well, if you did, then good. I hope you're proud of what you did, because that small, seemingly insignificant change in the atmosphere caused by the snapping of your fingers will lead to a devastating hurricane 100 years from now, killing millions. So, congrats. You just helped change the world for the worse. Okay, that may seem dramatic, but it's not as far from the truth as you might think. It goes back to something you may have heard of before, the butterfly effect.
The shorthand is the butterfly effect. A butterfly can flap its wings in Peking, and in Central Park you get rain instead of sunshine.
Why?
And then I go too fast. I did it.
Essentially, the butterfly effect is the postulate that the smallest event can lead to a massive event, such as the flap of a butterfly's wings in Brazil can cause a tornado in Texas. That may seem unbelievable, but it was discovered by Edward Lorenz in 1961 after he noticed interesting changes in a weather simulation he made. He ran one simulation that calculated and predicted weather for 2 months. The next day, he ran the same simulation and input the same initial condition of 0.506. He went to go get a cup of coffee, and when he returned, he noticed something incredible about the values. The numbers being printed were nothing like the old ones. I found that the new values at first repeated the old ones, but soon afterward differed by 1, until all resemblance with the original output disappeared somewhere in the second month. He realized that he had inputted the wrong initial condition. He put in 0.506 when the actual value was 0.506127. Now, that may sound boring, but the butterfly effect isn't interesting because of its mathematical or environmental applications. It's what it means for you, and by you, I mean us, humans. The smallest change can cause a massive change. For example, did you know that if it wasn't for a car taking a wrong turn, World War I may not have happened? Now, there were many reasons for World War I and how it started, but the first kickoff event was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. After a would-be assassin failed at killing him on the morning of June 28, 1914, the assassin left to a different part of town to accept his failure. The car transporting the Duke later took a wrong turn and stalled directly in front of a general store the 19-year-old assassin was walking out of. Seeing the opportunity, he shot Franz twice, killing him. This assassination led to some unfortunate events, or one might say, a series of unfortunate events. Get it? You got it, guys? That led to World War I. But that's kind of dark, so let's lighten the mood. Do you want to hear a joke? What do a priest, an art college application, and a British soldier have in common? They led to World War II. Adolf Hitler, as a boy, was drowning in a river, but saved by a nearby priest. Hitler's aspiration to be an artist were dashed as he was rejected from art school. Arguably, if he went into this new profession, he likely would not have become the dictator he is famously known for. As well as during the slaughter of World War I, a British soldier, Private Henry Tandey, Henry Dandy, chose not to kill an unarmed Hitler in the heat of battle. If any one of these events was different, if the priest took a different path to walk on that day, if Private Tattletale was a little more trigger-happy, or if Adolf was actually good at art, got him! Hitler may not have rose to power at all, and the events of World War II may have been drastically different or never happened at all. Question: how did your parents meet? Is there some small detail or event that if it didn't happen, they wouldn't have met at all? What about your grandparents or your great-grandparents? How did they meet? It takes just one wrong turn, one late bus ride, or one glance from a phone to determine whether you could exist or not. So far, we have talked about random small events that trigger random big events, but I believe that we can have some control on the outcome of our actions. Changing the world can be as simple as taking a stand for what's right. For example, there is a real man you likely have never heard of who saved all of humanity with a single small action. On October 27, 1962, Vasili Arkhipov a Soviet naval officer, was in a nuclear submarine near Cuba when US naval forces started dropping depth charges, a kind of explosive targeting submarines, on him. 2 senior officers on the submarine thought that a nuclear war could have already begun and wanted to launch a nuclear torpedo at a US vessel. But all 3 senior officers had to agree for the missile to fire, and Arkhipov dissented, preventing a nuclear exchange and potentially preventing the end of the world. This action could have been MAD, mutually assured destruction, which is a military doctrine that states if one country fires nuclear weapons at another, before they are hit, they will fire nuclear weapons back. This chain reaction will begin World War III, and the fallout will lead to the billions of deaths. To quote the mighty Gandalf,
I found it is the small things, everyday deeds of ordinary folk that keeps the darkness at bay. Simple acts of kindness and love.
So, do you think you can change the world? It's actually easier than you think. But if a small positive act can lead to a ripple effect, blessing the lives of hundreds, a small hateful act can destroy the lives of thousands. Every random event in human history, in part, led to you being here right now. It reminds me of an amazing song by John Craigie.
Sparks had to catch, oceans had to freeze, billions of cells had to survive, endless disease, civilizations had to crumble, wars had to be fought, bad presidents had to get elected, good presidents had to get shot, people had to leave, hearts had to get broken, people had to die just so your eyes could open. The universe is not against you, the universe is not against you.